Hello, welcome to my workshop. My name's Jeff McDonald, and the new project I plan to do is this chunk of Florida live oak. We've done these before, I have. And it's a crotch because you got two limbs here off to a main limb. So whenever that happens, the wood has these different patterns it makes in there. It makes a beautiful piece of work usually. So that's what we're going to make. Now this one is not, I'm not worrying about keeping the bark on this one. I'm going to make this one so that it doesn't have a bark rim. It just has a round wood rim. So usually I try to keep the bark, but I can already tell by looking at this bark, it's not going to keep. And if you look at the piece, it's cutting away. There's not enough bark to make a bark around the bowl. So it'll still be a nice piece though. So I'm making this part as the bottom, and then of course this will be the top. All right. And with that, let's get started. It's a little wobbly. It's off balance really bad. Until I get it on balance, I got to go slow until I can get it balanced up somewhat. Then I can speed it up. Let's see how it goes. Okay, that's about 500. Now, when I put this back on, the threads kind of got stripped out for the woodworm screw. So I bring up the tailstock to help hold it on there until I can get putting a tenon on the bottom. It's gonna be a while. And move it up, but I also got to put, where are they at? Darn it. Just a second. Yeah, I have to find them. I'm looking for my boot covers to keep the crap out of my boots. So just give me a second. All right, guys, found my boot covers. See, got them on. All right. When I wear shorts, I get tons of crap in my boots, so I've got these boot covers. They work really well. But anyway, you ever just can't find anything and you keep looking everywhere for it? Well, that's what I did, and I finally found it. Where you least expect to find things, right in front of you. Anyway, all right, let's get to turning. I'm going to stop and go sharpen this tool. I thought it was sharp enough, but it's not. It's a slow process, but we are getting there, believe it or not. Let me angle this a little different. That's better. Alright, take a little break and then we'll come back at it. That's rotten right there, isn't it? Well, I'll just keep turning it and see how much of that can go away. And if I have to fill it with resin, we'll fill it with resin. So, alright, break time's over. Keep cutting away at this thing. That's about right on, but I got to get deeper. I got to get past all this bark. Well, a little better. Alright, so now it's time to maybe take out some of the inside here. Now I don't know if you can see that from that angle. There's a big hole here. Now I might fill that with resin. I have to decide what I want to do with those holes. Sometimes I like to just leave them. That's who they are, part of the wood. I don't know. I'll think about that. Okay, so I got the edge straightened out. So you see them holes. This whole end's kind of interesting. I'll probably just leave the holes. I don't know what else to do. Filling them might take away from the actual wood itself. Let me lower this. I know. That's a lazy man's way of doing it. And I'll be sanding from 80 grit up to about 400. See how that looks then. is I'm going to put some tung oil on it. This what's it called? First step, axe first step. And I'll put this on there and I'll leave it on there for a couple hours and let it soak into the wood. If you see my other videos, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It does a good job of preparing the wood for the final other finishes. I may even have to sand this again, I don't know. We'll have to see how it looks after I do this. There we go. Okay, get it in these holes. That's not easy. I can always blow it out. I don't mind it being in there and all over the place. I'll use another rag to get it in there or something. Well, it's pretty grain. You know, it's kind of a pain sometimes when you get a piece like this one, but it is pretty grain. Unfortunately, I got to use a lot of this. Get down in those holes. Wish I had a way of getting it down in there. Let me see here. That's good. Okay. Let me blow it down in there. That might work. Perfect. All right, let's let that set for a few hours and we'll wipe it off. All right, now I'm going to wipe this off. It's coated very heavily with the tung oil. See how it looks. It's pretty good. I'm going to blow it off here in a minute through these holes. Tasha don't like that. She does not like the air blowing, do you, Tasha? Tasha, don't. Tasha, come here. Say hi to everybody. Come here. Come here. Say hi. You see her? Come here. There, Tasha. Hi, baby. Okay. All right. The next thing I'm going to do, we're going to use Axe sanding paste. That one's not been opened yet, I don't think. Need to find, yeah, it has. It's been opened. I'm going to put it on. Let's use my fingers. It's a gritty feel. kind of like what am I thinking? Stuff used on auto bodies. Kind of the wet sand. Now let me get, once I find it, I should have had it ready. The same rag I use on this all the time, just to polish. Where I wanted it, now I got the wax to put on it. Now, the wax, all I do is the same thing, is I just put it on by hand and just rub it in. Then I'm going to turn it on and I'm going to kind of heat it up, kind of burnish it into the wood a little bit, best I can. Okay. This is a unique piece of wood in that it's got all these imperfections and it makes it harder. So I'm kind of avoiding the holes because you have to use air spray and kind of blow the material out of the holes. Actually, I just seen a spot where I gotta clean out a hole. It's full stuff. Let's see here. Yeah. Might be able to blow a lot of that out. But anyway, let me blow that out right now because I got to get this wax in. Just kind of keep going. I stopped the camera while the compressor was going off. So let me grab my rag I use for the wax. Turn this on. Kind of burnish it in. I'm at 500 RPM. I'm going to turn it up to about 8. Kind of push a little bit and get it burnished in. Melt it good into the material, into the wood. Kind of makes a hard coating of wax on the surface. Helps protect the you know, just like any wax would. Pretty good. Now I'm going to flip this bowl around, put it on my Gouges jaws so I can finish the bottom of the bowl, and then that would be that. I'm going to go ahead and blow this stuff out too. So, all right, I got my Gouges jaws up. Now what I do is I put this blue tape, this painter's tape, on the little stoppers here because the black stoppers get all over the bowl, and I have to. This finish is done. I don't want to mess with it again, so that helps protect it that way. Everything we learn the hard way, don't we? All right, let me put this on here. I got a couple things I need to do. I need to straighten this out. And this is going to be the foot of the bowl, but all this needs to be sanded too, because it never got sanded with the rest of the bowl because it was flipped around, right? So I need to finish this little bit here, leave that foot, but I need to clean it up, of course. That's gonna I'm gonna drill a hole in that. Now what I gotta do here is go down a little bit more. Looks like I need to take more off because this has got a big old booger on there. Yeah, I got to take more off. Okay. That looks like. Almost, a little bit more. I like that angle I'm putting on it. That's kind of nice. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is indent this a little bit. Pretty good. Now, I'm take this and going to drill a small hole in the bottom that for the medallion I have that I insert in all my bowls. We're almost done with this little bowl. It's hard to believe how much work goes into something so basic, you know? Come on, come off there. There we go. Pretty good. One thing I want to do is it's kind of a rough finish. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. I'll sand it. I'll just sand it. I hate sanding, but I don't want to lose all that wood. Okay, I need a rougher paper. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish sanding it and finish the whole thing, and I'll come back with the finished product, okay? So you ain't got to sit there and watch me sand. All right, folks, our little bowl's done. I think it came out really nice. When you take a piece of crotch wood, which is that wood that is like another limb goes off from it, and that little corner, that's called a crotch in the tree, and then that's where the wood comes from. As you can see how the wood has lots of pattern and character. Now this one particularly because you got the bark here, you know, I left it on there and it went completely through, and I just left it on. It's a little rough to the touch, but it's very interesting to look at. So this is one of those kind of bowls you can put M&Ms in it, and a couple might fall out the hole here, but generally you probably just put this on the shelf and admire it, you know, the nature of it all. You know, God created that tree, and that tree got cut down, and a piece of firewood turned into one of these, right? Anyway, actually this wood came from hurricane firewood, so that's where I get most of my wood. Is I wait for a big storm and I go around and I pick it up, or I cut it out of my own yard. But anyway, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed, please do so. You want to turn on that notification bell so you'll know when new videos come out. And with that, I'd like to say God bless. Have a great day.